Hello, everyone, and thanks for tuning back in. This is Eric with HamRadioConcepts, KJ4YZI. And in a previous video, I did show you that I picked up, again, a Yaesu System Fusion handheld, specifically the FT2D. And this is the third time I've had this radio. So I showed that, and I asked in the last video, what do you want to see from some future videos, quick videos here? What would help you? What can I help you with? And so I got a lot of interesting topics to cover, so I'm going to try to get to those here soon. To start with this video, I'm going to group a couple things together. Now, some people ask, they want to know how to program the radio directly from the radio screen without having to use programming software. In case you're in the field and you don't have your RT systems and laptop, no biggie. You can program it right from the front of the radio. And some other people ask, they want to see how to set up the hotspot for Fusion. Now, this is running PiStar, and this will apply to any PiStar hotspot. But if you're using a PiStar hotspot that you've never touched with Fusion and you just got your Fusion radio, it's pretty simple. I'll walk you through it. It's very simple to switch this from DMR or D-Star to System Fusion. So I'll walk you through that. And then we'll show you how to use the radio itself to control the hotspot to change reflectors and to pull up lists of reflectors and stuff like that. No, you're not having to... You don't have to log into this device to do anything when you're trying to switch to different Yaesu reflectors. That's a big misconception a lot of people have. They say, every time I want to change to Alabama Link, why do I have to log into the hotspot and do it from my computer or phone? You don't. You do it right from the front of the radio. And in another video, I'll show you the complete Wires X functionality, because at this time, Wires X does not work from a Yaesu handheld to a hotspot. Wires X is proprietary from Yaesu, and they want you to buy their Yaesu equipment. So right now, you can use the System Fusion handheld here to join on YSF, or Yaesu System Fusion reflectors. And a lot of those reflectors are linked to DMR and D-Star and various bridges. So we'll talk about the Wires X completely in a whole nother video. But in this one, programming the radio, programming the hotspot on PiStar, and using the radio to get into the hotspot to, you know, change out different reflectors and navigate through it. All right, so for my radio, I have it pretty much defaulted back to VFO with no memory stored in here right now. So what you're going to do is, what do you need for a repeater frequency? You need your repeater output, you need your tone, and you need your shift, right? So we can do all that right here on the radio like this. First, you're going to tap on, I have VHF on the top, UHF on the bottom, dual receiver, independent. So we'll tap on the top one, and we'll type in the frequency of the repeater. That's a repeater locally here, okay? 146640. And now I need to set the, there is an automatic repeater shift. You can see up here it's already chosen a negative offset here, which by default on 2 meters is 600 kilohertz, and UHF it is 5 megahertz. So you need to set your tone. So now you can hold the display button. It'll bring you into a menu here. Click on signaling, and you should see squelch type. That would be your tone, and depending on what kind of tone you want, your you have tone squelch, you have tone squelch, tone DCS, reverse tone, and such. We're just going to go to tone squelch. That's how the repeater is set up. So this radio is not going to hear anything unless it matches the tone that is on the repeater currently set. We'll go back, and then you go right below that on the menu here to tone squelch frequency. And you dial in your frequency of your application, whether you're using it on simplex or DCS tone or your tone squelch. For this repeater, it's going to be 107.2. And the cool thing is a search here. If you don't know your tone, you can search for it. And if the repeater is transmitting and this thing is on tone search, it's going to identify the tone, the subaudible CTCSS tone or DCS that's going to be coming out of the repeater. So as of right now, okay, we have just a memory with a tone, proper tone and a shift on FM, which would work right now. How do you want to save that? The F memory write function or memory write, it's a dual mode button here. You hold this button for 2 seconds, All right. And now you can see here, the memory write button is here, and it's blinking up here, and it's asking you which frequency do you want to put that in, or which memory channel. So I'm going to put that in number 1, and I'm going to hit write. And if you have something there, it's going to ask you, do you want to overwrite? I just stored that in memory number 1. Now, I'll do another one. We'll go to okay, 146775. The automatic repeater shift is there, but if you have a custom repeater shift, what you can do is hold the display, go back into the menu, go to, it's weird why they put this in config. You'd think they'd put it right there next to the tones. It's actually in config, and you would go down here to repeater shift. Now the repeater ARS is your automatic repeater shift, where it detects the standard for where the frequencies are in the spectrum of 2 meters and 440, determines where, it's not going to shift it outside of the band. So if you have a repeater output that is in the upper end of the 2 meter band, it's not going to shift plus, because that would put it out of the 2 meter band, So your automatic repeater shift is on, but you go down here and you can change it if you want it on negative shift, positive shift, or simplex. We'll do negative here. Okay, and so I have 146775. The same tone applies. Negative split, negative shift. And again, hold the bottom left button here, F, the function memory write button. Hold that for 2 seconds. Okay, and I'm going to put this one number 2. And hit memory write. And if you have something there, it's going to ask you to overwrite it. Okay, so far I just made 2 memories. With the button down here, the VFO or memory mode, that's the VM. When you push that and you're in memory mode, you'll see your memory numbers up here. There's number 2, there's number 1. Okay, so as you make memories, you can scroll through them, and it's just that easy to store it right on the radio. Now, there's some other things you can do if you go into here in the memory. You do have the ability to have different banks. So if you wanted to have a bank for local, a bank for while you're traveling, a bank of, say, different frequencies for simplex and APRS and stuff like that, you can name the bank. You can name each memory. Memory skip, in case you want to skip that while you're scanning. Some people don't want to scan every single thing that they have. Memory write. So there's other memory functions in here. So what I'll do is I'll factory reset my hotspot, just so we can start over. In case you're unaware of setting up PiStar, or maybe you haven't had a PiStar on D-Star or anything yet. So this is, by default, right now, the PiStar dashboard. The login to this is pi-star.local. Yes, you can connect to this on your iPhone, at least I can. If you're tethering the Wi-Fi off of your iPhone to this hotspot in your mobile, you can go to pi-star.local on your iPhone to configure this out in the field. A lot of people had that question too. So the default login is pi-star, and the password is raspberry. Okay. Once you're in here, not too much you have to do. First, we're going to put my call sign in. All right. I'm going to change the frequency. For this video, I'm using 435. Now, it's come to my attention that a lot of people do not want to use frequencies like this for the sake of interference to satellite uplinks and downlinks and such. So find the frequency that is not in use, that is approved for this type of mode, and don't use a repeater frequency or anything here. For the sake of the video, I'm using 435. Latitude and longitude, if you know your latitude and longitude, this is mine rough, 80.4, I think. My town. Okay. I'll put Florida. Country. And all this is really for, your, if somebody looks you up through here, they could see on the dashboard or the main reflector, list, which I don't normally do. So we can do qrz.com/kj4yzi if you want to. Okay, so radio modem type, very important. You want to have right here, STM32-DVM Raspberry Pi Hat GPIO. Now that's the same for all these. I'm just going through this again in case you've never set up a hotspot for the ham radio use at all, ever. That's what you want, STM32-DVM MMDVM Raspberry Pi Hat. Okay, set your node to private unless you want it public where other people can log in. Hit apply changes. That's going to save this, and it's going to give you the option now when that's inputted to pick the mode, because right now you can't even pick what mode you want it to be on because it doesn't have any information in it. So as soon as this is done, it's going to pop up. Now I'll be able to check the mode that I want the hotspot to run on. Okay, and what you just saw said, because it just opened up now with the configuration here, I have to choose my modem again. I'm not sure why it kicks that off once you do that, but it takes about 10 seconds to apply changes. You've got to stop the service, MMDVM service, apply the changes, turn it back on. This would take like 10 seconds. Okay, there we go. So now we're going to turn on YSF mode right here. Okay, Yaesu System Fusion mode. If you wanted to, you can do Yaesu System Fusion to DMR, Yaesu System Fusion to NXDN, or Yaesu System Fusion to P25. I'm not touching any of that right now. I want Fusion, and I want to hit, your display type. You want to make sure you pick the OLED, or you're not going to see anything on the screen. And hit apply. Now, at that point, you're going to see on the screen pop up, once it says restarting, on the screen of your hotspot, you should see the MMDVM, and you should be in Fusion mode on your hotspot at this time. And I have mine set up here, MMDVM controller, simplex mode, Yaesu Fusion here, OLED screen, my information down here. Okay, and look what added here, the CCS7 DMR ID. Now that's for going from DMR to Fusion and vice versa. So we're going to put mine in. And hit apply. Every time you change something in this box, you should hit apply. Some people said you can do all of it, hit apply once at the bottom of the page. It doesn't work like that for me for some reason. So I have to go back and change things. So I edit a box, I hit apply. I go down, change whatever I need, hit apply. Okay. So it looks like the only other thing I have to do, and you can see here the interface is up. I'm not really connected to anything yet. Now here is the startup host. This is where it's going to, this is really the only thing that makes it different from a D-Star hotspot to a DMR hotspot is the startup here. Okay, so where is it going to start up? Well, there's a lot of reflectors in here. You can see this. And they have YSF, they have SCS. You know, there's a lot of different reflectors in here. But where do you want the thing to default to turn on? Now, I have to, myself, still have to get used to all these different things. But I know I've talked a lot on the Alabama link. I've talked on the America link. And a couple other small ones. But go here to see, I mean, there's all kinds of different. But remember, this is only what it's going to start up on. This is not where you're going to have to talk. So for the sake of the video, look, zombie alert. For the sake of this video, I am going to just go up here and pick YSF America. We'll go Alabama link, just for the sake of this video. And the APRS host, I normally leave it on the Euro APRS. I don't know, it just works. I haven't really touched it. If you wanted to pick a different APRS server, you can do Arkansas or whatever, and hit apply. Now, we're going to move to the radio and show what the radio functionality looks like when you're communicating with the hotspot to switch reflectors or to do those things. You want to log into another reflector for some other contacts or your buddy's reflector. How do you do it from the radio? What's it look like? Okay, so on the radio, the bottom button here, the wires X button, this right here, that is how you're going to activate this hotspot, and I'll show you how. You just simply tap on the wires X button. You'll see it sends a signal to the hotspot, and then it comes back from the hotspot and gives you information. Now it beeps. You probably can't hear the beep, but it'll give a doo-doo-doo-doo. That means okay. You can see down here the Alabama link is blinking. If I were to click on Alabama link, it's going to put me on the Alabama link. Or I can hit search and direct. Okay, and go to all. Now that's going to send a little digital burst to the hotspot and says, hey, I need you to give me a list of 20 reflectors right now. So it comes back with the 20 reflectors. Now it does it 20 at a time. So with all this list, you can see there's 484 in this list. It does it 20 pages or 20 per page, so that way it doesn't sit there for a half hour trying to load it all. Okay. Now you can use the dial on the top here, and you can go through and see the different ones. Like you have Alabama link, America link, you know, all these different links here. Argentina link. Let's say I wanted to go to Argentina link. Just tap on it. It sends the request to the hotspot. You get 4 more beeps. Doo-doo-doo-doo. That's it. Now you're connected to the Argentina link from your radio. At this time, you can hit the PTT and transmit. What will confuse you is this right here. Now, this is the Wires X functionality, which is going to be in a whole separate video. But that doesn't work with hotspots. Okay, and if you're not familiar with all the Wires X functionality, there's some pretty cool stuff you can do here for the local news or whatever news station, and see, you know, what's in the news station, upload and download to different repeaters and rooms and stuff. But that stuff is not going to work. If you want to download voice, it's not going to work because it doesn't know what it's wanting from you. The hotspot doesn't understand those commands. That's something that Yaesu themselves are keeping so that none of us can do it, and we have to buy the HRI 200 or their repeaters. Okay, so avoid that. Just go back, and at this point, what you're looking at on the screen means you are connected to the Argentina link. You are KJ4YZI-ND for node Vero Beach, and there's 8 connected stations to the Argentina link. Those could be repeaters. Those could be nodes. You could have 8 repeaters connected with 30 people listening on each repeater, you know. So let's say I want to get out of there. Click on search and direct. Go to all. It's going to pull that list again. And let's say you don't find something in the first 20 that load, you know. Okay, there's the end of 20. Hit the down arrow. It's going to pull another 20. And it's getting that information from the Yaesu servers or wherever that's housed. There's 20 more. See? I think the YSF001 is worldwide, I think. We're going to tap on that. Do-do-do-do. I don't know if you can hear that. But there. And you just hit back. There I am. I'm connected to the YSF001. Might be Australia. I'm not sure. Again, I got to, you know, there's so many in here. I'm not telling you which reflectors are what in this video. I'm just showing you what it does. So that's connected. Let's say you want to, you know, get out of there. Well, let's go back to search and direct first. Now, if I hit, instead of all, if I hit search and direct, I could search for a name or a reflector name that I want to connect to. On the Wires X side, it's you know, it shows in the manual and online that there you can label rooms all kinds of things, football and whatever, and search by it. I haven't had that much luck doing that. In fact, when I just search America, nothing still comes up. So I guess it's got to be exact to what you're searching for. Also, if you go back in the category, you can make categories here for, say, you know, American, European, Australian. You can make categories, and in each category you would have the reflectors that you store in there. Okay, and that stuff is in the manual to go further into that. But if you just want to go back and you want to get out of here, hold the Wires X button. Drops back out of there. Okay, and you're back to your regular radio. So again, you tap the Wires X button. Right back onto the YSF001. Okay, so when you see the video that I do of the Wires X functionality through a Yaesu repeater, sending pictures of my camera mic, and downloading and uploading news information, it's some pretty cool stuff. We'll show you that in a future video. But for now, this is by far no means a short video, but I hope it helped you at least show you how to get on that radio, program a couple memories right into the front of the radio, how to set up the hotspot, and how to access reflectors and change them from the face of your radio itself. And by all means, whatever you think about anything with Yaesu or Hotspots or PiStar, leave me a thumbs up for the effort of bringing you this video, and leave a comment below and tell me what you thought. Did it help you out? Did you gain a lot of information from this? Do you really think you're a Yaesu expert now and you can quit watching any of my videos because you are now the master? Tell me. I'd love to hear it. 7-3, thanks for watching. As always, you guys are the best. KJ4YZI.